I'm going to show you how you can win every game in MM2 using these easy tips and tricks that work for mobile and PC. Like the video if you want to be an MM2 pro player, and subscribe if any of these tips help you. The first tip is to distance yourself from people when you are sheriff or innocent. This is important because if there are people around you, then the murderer can kill you easily before you even know who the murderer is. Another tip is don't hold your gun out when you are the sheriff because then the murderer will target you. Only take your gun out when you know who the murderer is. Also, don't ever shoot somebody unless you see them take out their knife because if you shoot an innocent, then you both die. So don't shoot somebody just because they're following you and seem suspicious. Always wait before you pull out your gun or shoot until you see them with their knife out. The next tip is don't spam jump to dodge knives or bullets, especially in a straight line. It is very easy for the murderer or sheriff to kill you if you spam jump in a straight line. Instead, I recommend being unpredictable and moving side to side, etc. without spam jumping. Another tip is to predict your shots because when somebody is moving, it is better to anticipate where you think they are going rather than to click right on them because you will most likely miss. Same thing applies when you are the murderer. You should anticipate where you think they will be when you are throwing. This next tip is to use a different perk depending on the map. Use X-ray for big maps such as hotel, mill base, etc. But for smaller maps, I recommend using sprint or haste. If you do not own these perks, then that leads me on to my next tip, which is to only spend coins on perks if you do not own them all. Perks are the only thing in MM2 that actually help you win, so you can have an advantage if you own all the perks. Another tip is to raise your volume so you can hear footsteps and coins. I recommend using headphones so you can raise the volume because raising the volume gives you an advantage because you can not only hear the footsteps coming closer when you are hiding, but you can also hear coins being collected a lot better. So when you are the murderer and you hear people collecting coins, you can follow that sound to find them. The next tip is to never hide when you are the sheriff. The sheriff is the only thing stopping the murderer from winning. So if you hide, not only is everybody else going to die, but the murderer could find you and kill you easily. Another tip is to never stand still when shooting because the murderer can easily kill you and it is better to practice shooting when you're moving rather than standing still. The next tip is to practice in VIPs. MM2 VIPs are useful in improving your skill in MM2 because you can set 1v1 mode against your friends so you always get a role like murderer or sheriff and you can practice with that role for as long as you want without ever getting innocent. On top of that, it only costs 10 Robux a month. Another tip is to use shift lock to see if somebody is corner camping because you could die easily by just walking past the corner if the murderer is corner camping. But if you use shift lock, you can look around the corner to see if they are or not corner camping. Comment your favorite tip from this video, like the video if you learned something new, and subscribe for more MM2 content.
Built